Welcome back to the GSL Code A. This time for Oz against his former teammate JKS. It's going to be a Protoss versus Zerg. The starting map is going to be Metropolis, so we may see some Warp Prism play here, Calder.
Do you actually know if JKS was already part of the team when Oz was in there?
Yes.
Because I know that Joya was actually looking some new applicants up.
Yeah, he actually was. I think he was considered a B-teamer at the time, and now he's more part of the regular team. A lot of people were asking me about him on Twitter when he started popping up on Ladder, because people would see FXO JKS, playing that ID, playing against some popular streamer that was playing on the Ladder at the time. But yeah, he's a pretty good Zerg player. He's been with FX Open for a while now, even before Oz left, and I'm sure they practiced together quite a bit in the past.
Well, the game is about to start. Metropolis is going to be the first map, and we will find out how good JKS currently is. He's up against a former Code S player. This is not going to be easy. JKS against Oz. And here we go to the top of the map, Metropolis. In the red, we have our Protoss player. A former FXO player is now playing for Fnatic. It is Oz.
Yep. I will confirm this.
If you want to do something like this, you have to go for like affirmative.
Affirmative, sir.
At the bottom, we try it again. Okay, come on. At the bottom of the map, we have starting for the FXO team. This is JKS.
Yeah, that's him. It certainly is. I promise, guys, it's really him. It's not a trick. Well, I wonder what JKS means. It's probably his Korean name, his initials. But what's his name then?
Well, guys, if you have some crazy insights on what actually JKS could mean, you can make up anything you want.
He's probably like Chang Kisu or something like that. Like, that's probably what his name is.
No. That has a meaning. That definitely has a meaning, and I'm pretty sure that people who are watching right now have a couple of good ideas what it could mean. So if you have some, tweet at us at Calder and at ProxyWolf, and I think we will browse through the best ones later on. So you have 3 games to actually tell us what exactly JKS could mean. I'm
Not
sure
necessarily, because it could be just 2 games. Think about that.
You're actually right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they gotta get on that. They gotta be fast. Well,
Nexus first here for Oz.
Yeah, and he's going to continue to deny with his probe, and they're cross positioned, so this is even more frustrating. And this is the worst map to have to take a third base rather than your natural, because it's so hard to get over there, but he's going to do it anyways.
The cool thing, though, is he didn't see that... he saw the probe sneak out, didn't he? Because I really thought that for a while he was trying to just deny the Nexus, the hatch at the natural, and didn't realize that there was already one over there at the bottom left. But, well, he saw it now, moves back with the probe, he's going for the Forge as we speak. And with those overlords that JKS is getting into position right now, he will be able to not only see that there was a Nexus first timing, but also, of course, scouting the transition of his opponent. And there are a couple of really nasty builds on this map. It's not only the Immortal push that we are talking about, but it's also a build that JYP and Ace are really fond of. The block of the choke point, of the ramp, this is something that is really nasty.
Yeah, it can get, things get dirty. I really prefer, actually, for me, I like the Blink Stalker Sentry Drop, where you blink in and then force field them out. That one is amazing. That one, like, when that actually occurs and works well, I actually just get tears.
I think I've only seen this once by Ace. But it was beautiful. It was so well done.
I've seen Killer do it before as well, and I feel like I've seen JYP do it too, but it's those are like the 3 Protossers who love to do builds like that. Well, Pro spots the Queen. The Queen thought about chasing that probe down, but she's like, it's not worth it. I can't stop him.
The Queen is like, I'm too old for this shit.
Yeah, that's exactly what she's thinking. She's like, listen, first you make me walk all the way off, creep to the 3rd hatchery, then you want me to turn around and chase the probe down. I'm not doing it.
Do I look like 20?
That's not part of my job description, okay? I've got transfuse, I've got spread creep, and I've got larva injects, but chasing probes, there's no skill for that. I'm not doing it.
Yeah, she's pulling a Sergeant Murto here, definitely. 3rd base is nearly done.
Yeah. And
I'm more excited about what exactly Oz is going to do
me too.
now. This is basically, what happens on the game now. As soon as the Protoss finishes with his core, he has to decide what exactly he wants to do, which kind of transition he wants to start. We don't have an attack upgrade just yet for Oz. He certainly has the resources to pull it off, but this looks more like he's going to start without gateway pressure.
Yeah, he's getting the double gases right now, and that feels like, and with this +1, I feel like it's going to be actually Robo coming out for this
Oh,
map.
he started it? Nice.
Yeah, he started it late, but you were right, he didn't get it until this moment, and the Overlord's already in his base trying to figure out what's going on. He can actually deny this, and it's either going to be Robo or it's going to be Stargate, but he has not added either yet, so it's a little bit surprising. He could actually just go with a slightly delayed +1 for gateway attack as well, I suppose, but that's weird with the 4 gases he's taken.
The more time you give a Zerg player to prepare against any kind of aggression, the better for the Zerg, obviously, and the harder it will be to pull your push off as a Protoss player. So now that the Overlords are denied, he can start whatever tech he wants to. We already have the tech for JKS, and he's spreading creep, not really aggressively, but at least he's trying to push it out on the third base. But he should also place down a couple of creep tumors at his natural. This is actually a bit of an oversight on a map like this, where especially immortal pushes are really, really common. You should always try to connect those 3 bases and push the creep out not only at the third base, but also at the natural.
Yeah, and the rocks haven't been touched. He's got 2 queens that could be working on those in between their injects. But again, you know, we discussed this before. These queens are a bit lazy. They're not really into that, but Oz is actually going up to 4 gateways, but then double teching, going Robo and Twilight Council. This gives him some flexibility. He's just not even going to warp in any units, since he already forced the Lings with his first 2 units, his Stalker and his Zealot. So he's like, alright, I've already done my job. I didn't kill any drones, but he forced Lings instead of drones, so he's kind of already accomplished what he wanted to. So he can tech, he can use these gateways to defend or attack later, but he's just going to make a Nexus here.
He's trying to take his third base, and this is obviously something that JKS will scout very soon. He has the Overlords to the right side of the map. In fact, there it is, headed straight for the mineral line, getting a glimpse of what exactly is going on at the third base. Bling has been started for Oz, but this will give JKS the opportunity to take a 4th base. He starts his tech as soon as he finishes Slayer tech. Also, not only the infestation pit, but he also goes for the roach speed. So he has a lot of time here in order to prepare, and this is usually something that you don't want to happen. You don't want a Zerg player to have all this time to start his entire tech tree to get the unit composition that he really likes, and I'm just waiting for the 4th base to be started here by JKS.
Yeah, it's exactly what I'm waiting for as well, and I think it's going to be at the 9 o'clock position based on how he's spreading his creep. It's starting to look pretty obvious, and in fact that's exactly what he's doing as I speak.
And there it is, pushed out with one of the drones and builds the expansion. And this is one of the 2 choices that you have as soon as you spot your opponent is taking a 3rd base. If the Protoss takes the 3rd, what you can do is either you go for a really huge roach and Zergling attack and try to finish him, try to make sure that he will not get this 3rd. But if you allow the 3rd base, then you always have to expand. I wouldn't even be surprised if we are going to see another base if he's taking a 5th as well. He will certainly have the minerals to do it, maybe a little bit later, but at this point with the 4th already in the picture, a 5th base is not really that far from. It's definitely in his grasp.
Yeah, it certainly is, and he's going to scout consistently with these Lings what sort of composition he's up against. He's making infestors right now. He's got his pathogen glands lined up. We do see Overlord Speed and Burrow coming out. He's getting 1-1. The problem for him, though, Oz already has +2. We'll have +3 soon, and he's going for the Colossi appropriately because he's seen the infestation pit with his observer. So this is an uncomfortable position for the Zerg in some ways, and that's exactly why, as you suggested earlier, I think a 5th base would be appropriate here. Because he's not going to be able to be aggressive with the infestors he has with Oz's style of expanding, and Oz will probably not be able to attack him with his first 2 Colossi. He may try to, but if he takes the 5th now, it'll pay off enough for him by the time that attack hits that he should be okay. He's going straight for Hive.
I like how he's playing here. He's going for exactly the tech structures that he needs, and this push by Oz should not do too much damage. It's a pretty... well, no, he's moving back as soon as he spots that there's a Zergling run by. But a lot of spine crawlers are being built now for JKS. I like this, playing it safe right now and just trying to buy this time until he has the Hive tech and can go for the Greater Spire. But at the same time, as you can see, we already have a few additional infestors that he gets. He's right now in 7, and no Colossi for Oz just yet. No, he's just building the first one, getting extended thermal lens. There's a War Prism, though, headed his way, and he spotted it already, but he doesn't have any units in position. He's just now moving back with a few Zerglings and Roaches.
Yeah, he's going to bring his Infestors back as well, but this is scary because if he moves too many units back to his main base, he's going to open himself up at his 4th base location. This is exactly where Oz is approaching him right now.
Yeah, but the Spine Crawlers should be ready. Does he have a few to the left as well?
Yeah,
I think so.
He's got 3 at each entrance, and here come the Zealots warping in. This is forcing the Infestors back up again. The Stalkers, though, not in position this time to attack.
He needs to be very careful, though. He needs to be sure that this Warp Prism is not warping in any sentries and closing the ramp. If those Stalkers blink up, then he will be in a tough spot. Here we go, though. Using those force fields immediately, but a little bit weird. There are no SCVs to repair the Spine Crawlers, I can promise you that.
That's for sure.
Pretty offensive blink here. No fungal hits, but this doesn't matter all too much because right now there's not a lot that he has in order to stop these units. So the Stalkers don't even have to blink. Another fungal hits home though, but most of those Infestors are already gone, and JKS in a bit of a tough spot here.
Yeah, and there's a Colossus rallied across the map that will join up with this, and that's going to make this even scarier with warping in Stalkers here. +3 is not done, but it's about to be way before +2 Carapace finishes for our Zerg, so he loses this hatchery, a lot of production as well, and he barely has any units to hold off Oz if he decides to follow up here. He's getting an Ultralisk Cavern, and I guarantee you those Ultralisks are not going to be the key to defending this push.
They definitely won't be ready in time. That's the biggest problem that he has. Another set of Warp-Ins now with the Warp Prism, and as we speak, we have the tag at the bottom left with a lot of Stalkers chasing down these Infestors, trying to snipe the Queen, and the GG by JKS. Oz with a very, very straightforward push wins game number 1.
Yeah, you're so right. It's very straightforward. Hit the timing. I like how he used the Warp Prism to distract, almost like you see pushes in Terran versus Protoss or Terran versus Zerg, where you try to draw the melee units into the main base, even drew the Infestors, and they attacked the other location. And JKS he split well, but he struggled to deal with that two-pronged attack.
That Warp Prism just threw him off guard completely. Every single time that Oz warped a few units in, he really struggled to have the right units in place to defend against the pressure. So Oz got into a good position. He used the force fields to make sure that the units could not close the distance, took down most of the Spine Crawlers. And as soon as that blink happened, that offensive blink, well, there was a fungal, but most of the Infestors died or were already dead. And this is the big problem that you have if you don't pay attention to your Infestors. You just fall behind so fast. You could never get these units in order to force the pushback. And when the fourth died, that was actually not lights out just yet, but that was already a very, very huge blow to his economy.
And he lost so many Infestors trying to defend that 4th base as well, and lost the production at the hatchery there, didn't have macro hatch. All the things fell apart there based on Oz's aggression. It was well done. Our next map, unfortunately for JKS, is going to be Entombed Valley. Very Protoss favored map, at least many people feel that way in Korea. We're going to jump into it right away.